Short. Strong. Espresso English.
Fuel your day. Let's learn.
Have you ever opened your phone just to check one message and suddenly realized you've been scrolling for 20 minutes? It's like your phone grabs you and won't let go.
Oh, I've been there more times than I'd like to admit. You're trying to focus, but all those banners, red dots, and group chats keep pulling you away. It's exhausting.
This episode's for anyone who's felt like their digital life is a tug of war between wanting control and fearing they'll miss out on something important.
And remember, this episode's at B1 level, so it's great for intermediate learners. Beginners, you're definitely welcome to.
So what do you think? Would you rather have a clean, streamlined phone with just a few apps and notifications? Or a rich, full digital world filled with plenty of apps and messages?
It's a tough call. On one hand, a cluttered phone can stress you out. On the other, too little can cause FOMO, fear of missing out.
Exactly. The problem is, our brains aren't designed to handle all this digital overload. It's not that our willpower is weak, it's that our attention is constantly bombarded.
That's right. Too many notifications grabbing at us, making it hard to focus or relax. It's a real challenge.
Here's a quick question for you. How many apps do you really use every day? 5, 10, more? Think about that.
Yeah, drop a number in your head right now. It's surprising how many end up just sitting there, adding clutter and noise.
Later in the episode, we'll share a zero-pressure way to test which side you lean toward, minimalism or abundance. It's simple, and you won't have to ditch your phone cold turkey.
First step, keep only 6 apps on your main screen, the ones you really use every day. The rest go into folders.
And step 2, mute notifications except for the truly important ones for a whole week. See how your brain feels more relaxed or more anxious?
I'm guessing that test will surprise a lot of people. By the way, I wonder, are you listening while picking up your phone right now? Or maybe scrolling already? Not pause twos.
Oh, being honest here, I definitely caught myself checking the screen before even starting.
Same here. This digital dilemma is everywhere, and later, we'll give you one tiny trick to help manage it all.
So stick with us. You won't just hear the theory, we'll walk you through real practical steps to make your phone and your life a little calmer. Last night, I opened my phone just to reply to one person, and then I saw a row of icons, a bright badge, and 3 new messages. 10 minutes later, I was still there, half reading, half reacting.
That's the weird trap, right? Your phone looks innocent, but the moment you tap one thing, the whole screen turns into a tiny carnival. It's not just one app. It's an ecosystem of distraction.
Exactly. And the hardest part is that the screen doesn't even need to be loud. A small red dot can create a huge sense of urgency. That's why clutter isn't only visual, it's emotional too.
And once the phone feels cluttered, your brain starts feeling cluttered. It's like your attention has too many tabs open. You think you're choosing, but really you're being pulled.
That's where choice overload starts to show up. You open the phone to do one thing, then you face 10 possible next moves. Reply, save, like ignore, forward, check, scroll, archive, delete, or just escape.
Right? And the more options sit in front of you, the harder it feels to begin. That's why a streamlined setup can feel almost shocking at first. Fewer choices, fewer interruptions, less friction.
I tried a simple experiment on my own phone. I moved everything off the main screen except the 6 apps I actually use: daily messages, maps, camera, notes, calendar, and music.
6? Look at you, living dangerously. My old home screen had 17 apps and a folder called Later that was basically digital denial.
Mine had a folder called Maybe, which sounds cute until you realize it's just clutter wearing a polite name.
That's painfully accurate. And then there's notification pressure. Even when you're not opening the app is still calling your name. A notification can feel tiny, but it acts like a tap on the shoulder.
And not every tap deserves a response. That's the big shift. A notification is just information until your nervous system turns it into a command.
That's a huge point. Some people think they're just being responsive, but they're really living in a constant state of micro-interruptions. It becomes digital overload before they even notice.
I felt that in my body. My shoulders were tense, my mind kept jumping, and I couldn't tell whether I was tired or just overstimulated.
That's why the clean screen experiment matters. You're not trying to become a monk. You're trying to notice what actually happens when the noise drops. Does your mind relax? Or do you start feeling FOMO?
Because FOMO is real. When I hid some apps, I suddenly worried I'd miss a useful message, a funny post, or some tiny moment everyone else seemed to know about.
And that feeling can be sneaky. You're not even chasing something important. You're chasing the possibility that something important might exist somewhere else. That's a very modern kind of pressure.
Let's make this practical. If your home screen has too much clutter, try one tiny reset tonight. Ask yourself, what do I open without thinking? Those are the only apps that stay on the front page.
And everything else can move behind the curtain. Not deleted, not punished, just tucked away. That one move turns a crowded screen into something more streamlined.
Then watch your behavior for a week. If you keep reaching for those hidden apps, maybe they truly matter. If you forget them, that tells you something too.
Exactly. And if the notifications still feel like a swarm, mute the low priority ones for 7 days. Not forever, just long enough to see what changes.
You might notice less mental noise, fewer reflex checks, and a little more breathing room. Or you might realize you actually enjoy the buzz. Either answer is useful.
And there's no moral prize for choosing one side. Some people want a calm, minimalist phone. Others like a busy, lively one. The point is to see what gives you energy instead of stealing it.
So this isn't about becoming anti-tech. It's about noticing whether your phone serves you, or whether you're serving it.
And by the way, there's a phrase for this whole tension. It's called choice overload, and we're going to unpack it later. We'll also look at FOMO, notification pressure, and how a streamlined setup can change your day. So, Arya, I really believe that going minimalist with your phone helps you take back control. When you remove the clutter, you reduce your FOMO and mental overload. It's about making space both on your screen and in your mind.
I get that, James, but I have to disagree. For some people, that streamlined phone feels too empty. It can actually increase FOMO because there's less digital connection. They worry they're missing out on what others are experiencing.
I see your point, but isn't FOMO exactly the problem we want to solve? If a fuller phone makes you anxious or distracts you, it's not really a connection. It's a chain.
But what if that chain is also a lifeline? For people working remotely or staying socially distant, their apps and notifications are a way to feel connected. Cutting down too much could create isolation, not freedom.
That's fair, but you can still keep meaningful connections without every single notification. Not every ping is urgent. When you set notifications by priority, you preserve what matters and block what doesn't.
I don't buy that it's that simple. Notifications don't just interrupt randomly, they trigger what psychologists call cue reactivity. Your brain reflexively reacts to alerts. Ding! It's like Pavlov's bell. So the problem isn't just how many notifications, but how they hijack your focus.
Right. Cue reactivity explains why notifications feel so powerful, but wouldn't reducing them to only essentials lower that reaction? The fewer alerts, the less your brain jumps.
Possibly. But what if that leads to other problems? What if people don't check their phones enough and miss important moments? Sometimes the richness of digital abundance is exactly what keeps life vibrant and spontaneous.
But I'd argue that richness also comes with stress. The overload causes fatigue, decision paralysis, and ultimately less enjoyment. When your phone signals nonstop, you're multitasking but not fully present anywhere.
I'm not denying that overload drains people, but cutting too deep can bring its own stress worrying if you're out of the loop, missing jokes, deals, even personal invitations.
That's why testing works better than all or nothing. Try a streamlined setup for a week. See if the quiet feels good, or if you feel disconnected. That personalized trial respects both perspectives.
Totally. I guess my point is people can't just copy a single minimalism approach and expect it to fit. Context matters. Their lifestyle, work needs, social preferences all shape what balance really looks like.
100%. It's not about forcing a choice, but understanding what digital lifestyle serves you best. Minimalism is a tool, not a rule.
And just to stir the pot sometimes, the clutter itself sparks creativity. Unexpected app notifications or messages can lead to moments you didn't plan but treasure.
True. I've had interesting conversations that started from random notifications. But again, those moments count only if they don't bury you under constant noise.
So maybe the better question is, can you create a digital life that embraces both calm and richness? One where you control notifications but still enjoy surprises?
That sounds ideal. A smart mix. But honestly, from the data I've read, most people lean toward overload without noticing it. Their phones become cluttered jungles, not calm forests.
And that's why it's so hard, because both extremes have real drawbacks. It's about learning to listen to your brain's reactions and your emotional needs.
So for listeners, start where you are. Try moving a few apps into folders. Prioritize which notifications really matter. Watch how you feel. Adjust from there.
And don't beat yourself up if you prefer a fuller phone. It's not about willpower, but finding what energizes you instead of drains you.
Exactly. Digital balance is personal. There's no one size fits all. But awareness is the first and biggest step.
Before we move on, let me share a quick role play that shows what happens when someone tries to explain their need for a cleaner phone but stumbles on wording. Then we can give better phrases.
Oh, I'm ready. Hit me.
Hold on, James. That sounds like a classic moment of digital overwhelm, but your phrasing needs work for a native feel. Can you say your line again slowly?
Sure, I said. I don't want too many apps. It makes my brain confuse. Not exactly natural, huh?
Yes, it's understandable, but a bit awkward. Instead, you could say, my phone feels cluttered with too many apps. Or, my screen is too busy, it distracts me.
My phone feels cluttered with too many apps. How's that?
Spot on. And for a casual conversation, people might say, there's just too much clutter on my screen.
Okay, now I feel confident to explain digital overload without confusing anyone. Thanks for the tips.
Anytime. That's why real conversations matter, not just ideas, but how we say them. So now we've seen both sides. The calm of a streamlined phone and the pull of too much notification noise.
Right, and we've also noticed how clutter and overload can sneak into everyday life without warning.
Next, we're shifting into our word tour, where we'll unpack the 5 phrases we used in the story.
You'll hear the words again in real situations, and we'll show you how they sound natural, not textbook perfect.
Let's dive into some key words we kept mentioning, starting with clutter. You know, clutter is more than just messes, when too many things are all piled together, making it hard to find or focus.
Exactly. Like that drawer in your kitchen where you toss everything random cables, old receipts, a stray spoon. Visually, it's chaos. Mentally, clutter on your phone feels the same way.
Right? A cluttered screen with so many apps and notifications makes your brain work harder even when you're not using the device. It's almost like noise in the background you can't escape.
Which brings us to the word streamlined. That's when you've made something simpler and easier to use, cutting out what's unnecessary.
So if clutter is the messy drawer, streamlined is when you organize it with little boxes or containers, everything in place, easy to grab.
Or like arranging your apps so only the important 6 stay visible while the rest go into neat folders.
Speaking of apps, let's talk about notifications. These are those little alerts, sounds, or badges from apps or devices that try to get your attention.
And the tricky part is, not all notifications are equal. Some bring important messages, others just want you to open a sale or check likes.
That constant pinging is why people turn off many notifications to stop that constant tug on their attention.
Too many notifications can lead to overload. That's when you have more of something than you can comfortably handle.
Overload isn't just physical stuff. It can be mental, like feeling overwhelmed, because your phone is demanding too much of your focus.
I once had so many notifications on, I swear my phone sounded like a J at a club. Total overload.
No wonder your brain was exhausted. But here's something interesting about overload. It can make you freeze, unable to decide what to do next.
And that's where FOMO comes in. It stands for fear of missing out, the worry that others are having fun or important experiences without you.
Yeah, when you mute notifications or hide apps, sometimes FOMO creeps in. You wonder if you're missing something or falling behind.
But FOMO can trick you into checking your phone even when nothing urgent's there.
Like when you see a quiet screen and think, is my phone broken or am I the one missing out?
That's exactly the moment to remember. It's okay to step back and accept that you can't see or do everything.
Let's try using these words in some quick scenarios. Imagine you just cleaned your phone homepage. How would you describe that?
I'd say, I cleared the clutter so my phone feels more streamlined now.
Perfect. And if your phone suddenly stops buzzing as much?
I turned off most notifications to avoid overload.
Great. And if you felt nervous because you weren't getting every alert?
I had a serious case of FOMO, wondering what I might miss.
Spot on. Learning these words helps us describe not just our phones, but how we feel about them.
And using them naturally makes your English sound way more fluent and real.
So even if your phone can't be perfect, understanding this vocabulary helps you talk about your experience and maybe find balance.
It's like finally naming the chaos so it doesn't control you.
Exactly. Next time you feel overwhelmed, by your phone you can say, I'm dealing with some clutter and overload instead of just frustration.
And that's a powerful step toward digital peace.
Before we move on, here's a little quiz for you inside your head. Can you remember all 5 words? Clutter, streamlined, notification, overload, and FOMO?
Don't worry if it takes a minute. The more you use them, the easier they stick.
And they're everywhere, from chatting about phones to talking about your day or even your workspace.
This word tour is designed to help you spot these words when you hear them and bring them into your own conversations naturally.
So next time your phone buzzes or your screen looks messy, you'll have the right words to describe how it's impacting you.
And that's not just vocabulary, it's understanding your digital life in a whole new way.
So today we looked at both sides of the digital question. A calmer phone, a more open phone, and all the feelings in between. It's not really about being perfect. It's about noticing what your screen is doing to your mind.
Right. If your phone feels like clutter, start small. Keep only the apps you use every day on the main screen and move the rest out of sight. That one change can make your phone feel more streamlined in minutes.
And if notifications are running your day, try a 1-week reset. Leave only the truly important ones on. Then see what changes. You might feel less pressure, or you might realize which alerts actually matter.
Also, watch for overload. If your brain feels noisy, that's a sign your attention needs a break, not more force. You don't need to delete your whole digital life. You just need a clearer shape to it.
I love this topic because it feels so personal. I've had days when I opened my phone for one thing and ended up feeling scattered for the rest of the morning. And honestly, that used to make me feel guilty.
Same here. Once I made my home screen simpler, I noticed I stopped checking my phone so often. The funny part is, I didn't lose connection, I just lost some of the noise.
So maybe this week, try one experiment. Clean your main screen. Mute a few extra notifications and notice whether FOMO gets louder or quieter. That little test can tell you a lot.
And if you want to go further, pay attention to when you reach for your phone without thinking. Those tiny habits reveal more than any big promise ever could.
Next time, we might explore another everyday choice that looks small on the surface but changes how you feel all day long.
Before you go, we want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, would you choose a more streamlined phone or do you prefer digital abundance?
We read every single comment. Thanks for listening, and remember, tiny changes can make your digital life feel a lot lighter.
Thanks for listening and see you next time.